Hi, I'm Shakayla and this is my channel Shakayla Says. I'm reviewing the book Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Probably know it's turned into a movie. It doesn't look good. The book looks alright. Okay. Basically, it's about this guy called Wade and he lives in this future where everybody is addicted to like this gaming kind of thing called Oasis. And when the owner of Oasis dies, he just decides, oh, I'm going to put a contest up. So what he does is, he's like, whoever can complete all my quests can inherit my fortune. So Wade's been trying for 5 years, and in this book it just shows the journey. The book was quite interesting. It showed like a realistic world, and it shows like what the world could be, what it could be like, and how we're destroying our environment and all the rest of that. The main character was alright, but other supporting characters, I didn't feel like I knew them. They weren't really like that into it. This one of the characters, one of the Japanese ones, he died, and I was like, okay, he died. And the other one was crying. I was like, felt kind of bad for him, but I don't care really, because you were in like 2 scenes. I like the idea that you could like just create your own character and create your own world or whatever, and also like the idea that somebody's generous enough to put the whole fortune up for sale when they die. I don't like all the 1980 references. Like, I understand it's part of the story, but obviously I was not born in 1980, so I don't understand any of it at all. I'll be on about Atari 2600 something, and I'll be like, I don't know what that is. Well, I do know what that is, but I don't know what the rest of the stuff are, so... Well, to me, it was just a bit boring, because sometimes things would happen. Like, I don't want to spoil the book for anybody, but things would happen, and then he'd just take a break, and it's like, don't you have your priorities straight? And he's like, oh, I've been doing this for 5 years. Like, if you're doing it for 5 years, I think be a bit more interested in it. He was like, he got his key, the bronze key, that he needs to unlock one of the gates, so he can get the fortune. So, basically, he gets it. And then it's just like, you're not gonna do anything. Like, he's just waiting there for something to happen. It's like, and then his girlfriend or whatever, I don't know what to call her, Artemis, was all like, oh, I don't love you no more. And then he just stopped doing it for like a few months or something. I can't remember how many months it was, but it was a few months at least, or weeks. Well, anyway, in the book, I didn't mention this before, but in the book, basically, you've got like, to win the contest, you have to get through the 3 gates. You have to have the bronze, jade, and crystal key, so you can get to the end. And basically, Wade got one, he was the first person to get the bronze key. And then he was like, he had it, and then he completed the gate, and then he got, I think he got his jade key, and he was stuck. And then he started like talking to one of the other people who also got the bronze key, Artemis, and then it was like, he fell in love with her or whatever. So he fell in love with her, and then when he went to go tell her that, and then she was like, I don't want to be like that, yeah. And then he was like crying and bawling for like a few weeks, and it's like, if you really want the prize money or whatever, why don't you just go and get it instead of crying and bawling about her breaking up with you? If you had a chance of being a billionaire, would you be a multi-billionaire? Would you be crying because somebody broke up with you, and when you could have the chance to go and get more than $1 billion? Like, what's wrong with you? And this man isn't rich either, he's poor, so why are you just like hopping on it like a train? What's wrong with him? Yeah, I enjoyed the world. It's like pretty interesting, but sometimes it was like not hard to picture it, but like you were thinking to yourself, what does that look like? Because also, as I said before, I mentioned stuff from the 1980s or video games that I've never ever played in my life and never even heard of, like Black Tiger or something like that, and it had like big robot things, and it's like, I don't know what any of these things are. Could you not just like brought Bumblebee in or something? Like, everybody knows Bumblebee. Could you just picked him instead of all these other ones? Because I had to pick from robots or something, and there was an Iron Giant, yeah. They got to pick for whatever the one they wanted. And they picked these Japanese ones, and I was like, I don't know that cartoon anime, whatever, because I don't watch it, especially not from 1980. At the end of the Jade Gate, like, after you got the Jade Key and you open the gate or whatever, you had a choice to pick a bunch of robots. You could have picked the Iron Giant, you could have picked all these other Japanese ones, and they picked the Japanese ones. The Iron Giant was the only one that I knew, and then they picked the Japanese ones, and I was like, well, I'm assuming they're Japanese because it sounds Japanese to me. And anyway, I was just thinking to myself, I don't know who these people are. Couldn't they also just put like Bumblebee up in there or something, so at least somebody like me or people reading the book could know what they look like or something? Basically, the person trying to stop Wade from winning is this like guy called Sorrento or something like that. I can't remember his name. He's like the head of this company called IOI, and they've always wanted to get the fortune. So they cheat their way through. So they have these like rings or whatever that's what it described it as, a ring that like lets them talk to people or lets them switch avatars, which you're not allowed to do. You're not meant to have more than one character. If you get caught, you can get banned for life from the Oasis. And all these group of people called the Sixers, they're all trying to stop Wade. Well, not stop them, they just want their fortune to the fortune to themselves. The villain was very boring. He was like, oh, I'm evil. It was basically like just chucking Mr. Burns in front of your face. It was like, could you just add a bit more character to him? He was just sat there and he was like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Basically, what happened was Wade had to go to this like meeting thing. He was being stupid, and he got all these emails from the ROI company, and he was like, oh, let me just go and see what's happening. Is he stupid? Anyway, he went there, and then the main guy, Sereno, he was like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. I've got explosives rigged into your house and stuff like that. And it was like, why did you come to the meeting, number one? Number two, why are you going to tell him that? Why are you going to no, of course you're going to tell him that. But basically, he was like, oh, there won't be much changes if I win the competition. All I'm going to do is add a bit more ads, make things a bit more expensive. Why would you say that? Like, no normal person would do that. If you're a bad person, you pretend to be a nice person. You don't just sit there and go, yeah, I'm going to do things that you don't want me to do. Like, and he was trying to get him to sign this thing, and it was like, why would he do that? And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna put more ads on here. I'm gonna put more ads on Oasis, and things are gonna be more expensive, and this, that, and the other. And I was like thinking to myself, you could at least lie to him or try or something. Like, just try and pretend you're a good person. Everybody knows you're not, but just try and pretend to be a good person, because nobody's gonna trust nobody who's dodgy, are you? Anyway, you're not gonna trust him if he's gonna say he's gonna do something you don't like. Like, why would he say that? He can pretend, and he was like, what's the point in having more money when you already have the most money in the world? I don't understand. He has the Oasis, and if he wins, he has billions of dollars, and he's like, oh, I still want to put more ads on it. What for? He's got all the money in the world. He's already got a company, so what does he need the money for? I think I'd give it a 7 or something, because I didn't like the story that much, because it was a bit boring to me, because it was all about the 1980s. And I'm not born in the 1980s, and I don't really have much interest in the 1980s either. So it was a bit boring to me, but I could understand why somebody else would enjoy it. And I did like the world quite a lot. I liked the main character, but that was about it. So yeah, I could understand why somebody would like it. So I'll give it a 7. That's my review on Ready Player One, and I'll see you next time. Deuces. I swear, I do deuces all the time to everybody, and it's really annoying. It annoys me and it annoys everybody else.